Patriots Day is directed by Peter Berg and stars Mark Wahlberg, John Goodman, J.K. Simmons, and Michelle Monaghan. It is a true story about the 2013 Boston bombings that occurred, where two of the Tsarnaev brothers were involved. The Tsarnaev brothers were involved with killing people,
killing three and injuring about 25.
Yeah,
25 people.
And of course, a little backstory. Now, this film was directed by Peter Berg, who also directed Mark Wahlberg in Lone Survivor and Deepwater Horizon, which were also based on true stories.
Both of them were phenomenal films, yeah.
Yeah, and so with this one, it shows that them two came together to present the story where everyone, it's basically an ensemble piece, because you have all the different views of people that were witnessing what was happening at the Boston bombings, and you have Mark Wahlberg, who plays a cop who is at the scene of the marathon, and he's just basically looking over to make sure everything's there that was going right. And then you also have John Goodman, who's the commissioner involved, Ed Davis, who was involved with looking over everything as far as the actual search of the...
Just to make sure, you know, how make sure security goes good.
Yeah.
And then you get the... it's the yearly Boston Marathon, where the runners run a big marathon. It's a big thing that's people from around the world come to do. It's like a big festival.
Yeah. And so what happens is all these groups of characters that we include, including John Goodman and Mark Wahlberg, who are the Boston police, the event takes place at the marathon in Boston, and it blows up, and then you see like all the damage surrounding everyone there, and the police investigate what's happening, and then the FBI comes in, played by Kevin Bacon,
yeah.
And basically throughout the entire story, it pretty much becomes a manhunt.
Yeah, manhunt. But like you said, it's like a ensemble piece, which was actually pretty different from the other films he's done, because this one, unlike the other films, we actually get to see like
the
stories,
lives.
Even the ones who's died or lived, we see build up of different people.
Right.
And you even get the Tsarnaev brothers.
Yeah,
their build up.
And that's one of the things that I really appreciate with the film doing, is because the film gives you what it's like in everyday people's lives, of how they come together, reacting to what's happening, and also the build up of all the stuff that goes down.
Yeah.
And so I gotta tell you right now, like, this film I really enjoyed. Here's my pros. I really enjoyed the performances, especially Mark Wahlberg and John Goodman and J.K. Simmons. I thought them three stood out the best for me.
Yeah.
And I also really enjoyed the main guy that plays the older brother of the Tsarnaev.
Tom Lyons, Tsarnaev.
Yeah, I thought the guy who played him was pretty intimidating, and he was pretty intense in a lot of scenes.
Yeah.
And
I gotta agree with you on my pros. I did love the performances by John Goodman, Mark Wahlberg, and Kevin Bacon. I liked everybody's performances. Like everybody, I don't want to name off everybody, but
they all did.
Everybody
fine.
did their part. Now I'll get to my con on one character, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But I also like the emotions it has. With it. And if you did not catch this throughout the whole film, where they were doing a lot of the surveillance, that's actually real surveillance.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's not fake. That's actually the real shit.
Oh,
that whole movie, they do like where it gets to the surveillance part and stuff. That's not them reshooting that. That's actually the real footage.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm glad they do that.
Unlike where we get the real footage at the end, you're getting the real footage actually happening throughout the film. They're mixing it with what they're shooting.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So, yeah, and what I also enjoy, too, the most is I love the way that this film looks. It looks, in a way, kind of like a Michael Mann film. It has this kind of documentary look to it. Because when we get to the build-up at first, when we're going to the marathon, you see, like, a lot of shots where the camera is, like, panning on one thing and then, like, kind of moving over. Kind of like a documentary where it's, like, kind of doing a lot of zoom-ins and everything. You know, it gives you that kind of authentic feel of what went down during that morning.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what I really appreciate with the way Berg directed this.
Yeah.
And I also really love the way that when we get to the intense parts that go down, it gets really like on the edge of your seat. Like when we get to the actual bombings that take place and the events that come out later, Peter Berg really knows how to shoot those kind of scenes.
He's like one of the best in the game when it comes to those realistic attacks type movies,
like how he did
disasters.
Like how he did in Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah, he's really good at that. I think that's one of his like his strongest points.
Yeah, and I also really enjoyed the score. The score, every time you hear like an intense moment going down, it gets you in that really mindset of that shit's gonna get real, and you gotta really gotta see what's happening.
Another thing that he didn't mention that I think is a pretty good pro. They actually like to blend comedy throughout this. Not trying to change the feel of the movie. There's some comedy I liked. Some of it was overdone.
I can disagree with that. I thought some of the comedy worked fine, and there are some funny parts I enjoyed, but
it was overdone on some of it.
I feel like
on some of it. Some of it's trying to it's like almost want to try to make the movie like overshadowed to make it a comedy, which I thought I agree with you on some of it. But I like some of the mouthy parts at the beginning.
Yeah,
it was that. It was whenever the serious shit was happening, I started not believing.
That's where
when the guy threw him the sledge, it makes you giggle, but that doesn't make you there's no way that guy is going to throw jokes out while getting shot at.
Yeah, that's where I get to my cons now. I feel like the film tonally is kind of inconsistent because there's a lot of scenes that happen where you see like very intense shit happening with a lot of the music score and the way that there's a lot of things that are occurring that you're trying to be really invested in. The problem is that every time that this would happen, it takes me out of the movie because there's a lot of parts where characters are saying a funny line that takes you completely out of the suspense.
Well, like I said, the comedy I enjoyed on some parts, not all of it. I laughed at the first half where before the shit happened. Alright, when nothing has happened yet, the comedy works because people are living their everyday lives and are just, throwing one-liners at each other, which is funny. It was when shit went down and people were still throwing comedy out of it. That kind of, I will agree with you on that. Made the tone really uneven. Another thing, like I said, I liked everybody's performance in this. The boy who lived that plays one of the Sonaya brothers, the one that survived the shaggy haired kid. I thought that kid that played him looks like him. He felt like too of an American child to me.
Yeah.
He didn't even feel like, because the way the guy is portraying him and acting, he felt kind of pretty messy with his performance.
Yeah, I agree. He was just very one-note. He was the way his character was written.
You don't have me believing that he did what he did, like he had the balls to do what he did, because I heard the guy was a little bit more of American-ish, even though they're real brothers, because the real brother stayed in Chechnya. This is where they're from, Dagestan, Chechnya area, and the older brother stayed more over in that country and was becoming more of a jihadist, and he brainwashed his brother. But still, the brother, to be the balls of what he did, he still had to be more jihadist filled to him. This kid was just he felt like your everyday elementary school, and it was just I don't believe that he was like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, they could have had someone better portray him in a better way.
Yeah. And he did look like him.
Yeah. Now, one of my cons that I have too is I felt that the emotional parts that were meant to be emotional, I didn't think really got to me as much as Peter Berg's previous films that he did, like Lone Survivor and
Deepwater
Horizon. Yeah. Because I feel like
he was a little bit weak.
It was a little bit on the direction, because it felt like every time it was meant to go down, I feel like because we didn't really. I mean, I'm not saying we didn't get to know his characters. I'm just saying it didn't get that oomph like the other films did, where you really feel the emotions for them.
It's because they had to focus on so many characters versus the other ones where they're trying to keep the more where they're focusing on a little bit less people. This one, they had a whole lot of people that were trying to cram in here.
Yeah,
I can get that. Yeah.
Well, and another thing too is, even now we're not going to spoil anything, but basically toward the end of the film, when we see actual clips of the actual things that would happen, the real life people that were involved, I liked what they did with it, but I felt like it did get a little too preachy at the end, because they kind of drug it out a little too long in that part.
Yeah.
But overall, though, I did enjoy the film. Though I think that it's definitely Peter Berg's weakest directed
out of the
other two that he did that are based on true stories. So that, I'm going to give the film a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. As much as we get pretty much even on here, I'm going to go a little bit down, because I did have one more con before I say my score. I did feel like at one little not the whole movie, I still stayed invested, but there was times I was getting kind of padded and I was kind of getting bored. So I'm gonna go with 7 out of 10.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? Guys, thanks so much for watching our review of Patriots Day. We hope you guys at least get to check it out, at least at a matinee, or at least check it out in theaters. And for those of you who have seen Patriots Day, what did you think of it? Comment below, and if you like what you see here, you can check out more of our reviews here on our channel, and we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you guys later.
Later.